Yo,
Boom, we're live. BDP Talks Football. What's up, Ben Danny? How you doing? You like yesterday's game?
I'm doing good. You know, I'm looking behind me right now, CD. I said, you always got the 76ers hat on lately. And,
Yeah. Well, I
you
just
know,
bought it, man. So I got,
if
and they're
they
2-0.
had an Eagles visor, I'd hook up with a visor here, but they don't have. But I got the Blue Claws, which are Philadelphia Phillies, minor league
See,
team. But I got the
you know what
Phillies
I
hat
think.
here.
You know what I think happened with the visor thing is I think John Gruden took them all. I think he let Doug Peterson borrow a
You bought
couple.
out the inventory.
Yeah, and then once Doug got fired, Gruden rounded them all up, and I don't think they're available anymore. But
Yeah, because
I
every
got to
time I
get
go to a place, I try to find a visor of that team,
yeah.
but the only ones
Now
that I
I'm going
don't
to
have
start
visors
looking.
on. Yeah,
That's
the
funny.
only hats. The only reason why I have these as hats with the
Yeah,
Phillies, the Rutgers, and whoever that is, the Atlanta, is because they just
because
don't have any
the
visors. They just
visor.
don't have any
Yeah.
visors because
Um,
my hair, right? So I can't wear hats with
right.
the hair how it usually is. So I need
So
the
you use the
visor.
visor. Yeah.
Yeah,
Makes sense, man. I get it. I get it. And it's funny that you mentioned the Sixers because since you did, I'll just use this opportunity to throw that out there. It's been a good week. We got the Eagles win. We got
yep,
a Sixers win
mhm,
starting to. We got a Flyers win on
yep.
Saturday,
I saw
and
that.
the Philadelphia Union won their first playoff game. So we got all the major sports, if you're including soccer as sort of that fifth, and
Except for
except
soccer,
for
except for baseball,
I was
except
going
for
to say
baseball.
except baseball, which season, we know the Phillies screwed everything up, but
Yeah, it says the
yeah.
same thing here. Chicks, Eagles live. It says the same thing
Okay,
here.
so it just says Eagles live.
Yeah, it just says Eagles live here.
See, it shouldn't because I'm looking at it, and for what I have, it says live. Philadelphia Eagles win over New York Giants
Yeah, no,
post game reaction.
I see that in the
Yeah,
studio
so
here.
that's the studio I'm in. So that should be what's up. All right. Well, after this, sometime this week before Sunday, I'll look into it more. Um, because I'm in a different studio. Like I actually set up a separate
Hmm,
one from the one we were using with the title and everything. So I'll have to uh,
yeah, interesting.
I'll have to check that out and see what's going on. But yeah. So anyway, huge win yesterday. A lot of different things happened in this game than the previous. So man, I was just going to let you rip first, and I'll react to what you liked or didn't like or want to scream about or celebrate.
Yeah, no, it was a big get back win. We talked about it yesterday during our pregame. Eagles can't lose to the Giants twice. You know what I mean? It's bad enough
Right.
that we lost the first time. We can't lose to them twice. It seemed as if they came out with an attitude. Seems like they came out with a swagger. Um, Feeling that they didn't perform to their best abilities last time these two teams were on the football field together.
For
Offensively,
sure.
no qualms with the offense at all. I think the play calling by was pretty good. You think so? Like play calling wasn't too bad.
No. Overall, I liked the play calling. There were some definite changes in there. One thing was really interesting. Well, there are a couple of things, but also with the defense, but with the offense specifically, one of the things we talked about in talking about Saquon Barkley and the thing that was concerning specific to him, there were struggles with the offense that affect him, obviously, but specific to him was not being able to break anything
Mhm.
without being untouched. And then that 65 yarder, he was untouched.
Yep.
But I'm not necessarily taking away because this is what's the weird thing is not a lot of guys turn that play into a touchdown. They might turn it into 10, 15, 20 yards, but
Mhm.
you could see that he still had that explosiveness, acceleration, that the sort of change of direction and the way and how quick and definitively he hit the hole.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like he got through, got to his left, and he was gone.
Yeah.
So all that is still there. So now it's okay, well, can he break? And I'm not even saying 65, but can he break the 10, the 15 yarder, the Tank Bigsby style of, yeah, you're going to get hit 2 yard, maybe even not even in the backfield. That's unfair, but you might get hit 2 yards into your run. Can you turn that into 6, 7, or 8? That's
Yeah.
what he hasn't been doing. So it's weird to see that because it's like, it's good. I love that he showed that explosiveness, but man, where are the extra yards after contact?
Mhm. Yesterday, I'm looking at the split up right here. This what I have right in front of me. I'm going to read it off to you. Is exactly the how we win games. This is the formula to win games. In my estimation, and I don't know if you saw the Nick Sirianni what he said in the locker room, saying, "Guys, we
About the
rushed for
running?
we ran for
Yeah,
270." This is how I like
yeah.
to win football games. Nick, I agree. We got Jalen Hurts being efficient, 15 for 20. 4 touchdowns, 179 yards. Perfect. Got sacked
Yep.
4 times. That's not good, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. And then we look at the rushing breakdown. We have 33 carries. Saquon's got 14 touches, and it's funny because me and you brought this up on Sunday.
Yes.
What happened to the
Yeah.
whole running back by commit? Not only Sunday, like every time we get here talking pregame
Yep.
Eagles, we talk about what happened to the committee of
Yes.
running backs, and we see Saquon 14 carries, 150 yards. But Tank Bigsby, dude, he really
Dude.
impressed me yesterday. I need to be honest. Watching him jump cut EC1. How we doing, 2X? Watching him jump cut in the backfield to get an extra 5-7 yards. What was that play? Second and 21 or something like that. And he
I
breaks
think
a
it was second and 26.
and he breaks
But
a 30-yard run for a first
yeah,
down. And but
right.
not only does he break it, he makes a move in the backfield. He takes contact, 7 yards into the play, and he gets to the outside. And dude, I
And
loved
then
watching Bigsby run the ball yesterday.
yeah, yeah,
Very.
and then one later, which I think was, I forget the exact number, but it was somewhere in the 12, 15, 16-yard range that he had later in the game that may have been even more impressive run because it had that, but it had even more of that.
Mm,
You know what I
Denzel
mean? If you
overtime.
remember that run where he just like, I mean, they just couldn't bring him down. It was one of those where it's funny with the tush push and all the screaming. It was one of those runs where it almost became like a rugby scrum at the end of the run because his legs just didn't stop, and they could, they had 3 guys, 4 guys, 5 guys, and they just
Mm,
they just couldn't bring him down. But yeah, and we've said this before, like the breakdown. Now it's going to vary, obviously, depending on who you're playing, what they're doing, whether you're winning or losing. So there's going to be a range, but if we're a team that's getting 25, 30 carries a game, and this had 33, but again, we got a big lead. We're going to run more at the end of the game.
yeah.
Barkley should be having, on average, about 15 of those,
Mhm.
right? I mean, 20 a game as an average over 17 games is just way too much work for one running back.
Yeah.
Now, I'm talking about that's like last year, right? You're talking about 340 carries.
He
At
had 4 catches,
250,
so as far as touches go, he's pretty much right around your number. 14 carries, 4
yeah,
catches.
yeah, yeah.
So he's
But
right
and
around
that's
that
fine
number.
because usually when a running back gets those screen passes or short passes, obviously there are exceptions, but they're not. It's not the same physical toll that you
On your
take
body.
rushing the
Yeah.
ball,
Yep.
right?
Yep, yep,
Like it's
yep. You
just
have
not.
time to
It's
set
usually
up.
you.
You have time to read your cuts a little bit better. You're
Yeah,
not
and you're
getting
usually
met.
tackled by one guy. You're not getting hit hard like at speed and so forth. So yeah, like yesterday for me, that was perfect for what you want in terms of a breakdown because that's going to
Absolutely.
give them about 250 carries a game a year instead of the 350. And if you're averaging 5 yards a carry, you're at 1,250 yard season. I
Mm,
think that's for your number one back. That's fine. I mean, that's going to win
absolutely.
us a lot of games. That's going to be all we need as a threat in terms of controlling clock and also opening up the passing game. Which here's my question to get into that with the play calling a little more in the passing game is where was this when AJ Brown was playing? Because AJ Brown is going to get more of what he wants with a game called in this way in terms of the play designs and you know what I mean? Like
Well,
there was
well,
just
again,
it
because
was like we got a different play caller this week.
you want to touch on this. You want to touch on EC's comment real quick before we continue with this.
Oh, so yeah, my dream Howie deadline trades for our
Yes.
team, Denzel Ward and Bradley Chubb or Phillips. Where's the rest of that?
Do we do we or do we make a move? Do we make a move?
Okay, so here's my thing with that is I
Appreciate the
think I
comment.
saw, and I saw it quick, so I can't remember who it was, but I think one of the cornerbacks that we would be targeting, I think it was from the Titans.
Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think just
Not the
got shipped.
Seahawks.
No, I think it was someone from the Titans that just got shipped to the Rams,
Okay.
I believe, unless it was a rumor and not finalized yet.
Roger McCreary. Yep. Titans trade
Yes.
cornerback Roger McCreary to the
Okay.
Rams.
So when I saw that, here's my thing because a
Well, if the
lot of people.
Rams if the Rams make a move, we need to make a move because
Well, that's the
they're
other
in an
thing, right?
arms race with us.
Yes.
So yeah.
And here's my thing to that because a lot of people are like, why hasn't Howie done anything? And I'm like, Howie's really good at his job, but it takes another team, right? And we're in a position because of what we've seen this year, defensive end, cornerback, and all that. We're going to have to overpay. But on top of that, We are a very hated team at the top of the mountain. And we could have, I don't know if we did, but we could have easily offered the Titans more than what the Rams offered. But no one wants to give the defending Super Bowl champs more ammunition to go win another Super Bowl. So it makes it that much harder for Howie to do anything. Does that make sense?
No, that
Like,
makes sense.
he's kind of doing this with one hand tied behind his back at this point. I
Now,
don't know that anyone's going to give us what we need no matter what we offer them. Well, obviously there's extremes, but you know what I'm
yeah,
saying.
no, I think it matters on who we're trying to do business with.
Yeah.
Um,
But
and
the
I'm saying
Titans are in
that
the
because
AFC,
no, I'm saying
right?
that yeah, because the Titans are done. They're finished. So now I'm thinking of another team that's finished who should be sellers at the deadline, who do have a cornerback that we might want to say, you know what, maybe he's got a year or two left in the tank, and that's Minka Fitzpatrick. Why not try to bring Minka Fitzpatrick in here? Dolphins are donezo. Yeah, they won one game against the who they just beat the Falcons. Whoop de doo. But we don't.
Maybe they are. Well, see, that's the other thing.
Yeah,
We have no idea.
yeah.
You know how he's working the
Yeah,
phones behind the
yeah.
scenes,
Because
right? We're just not going to know anything until it's done.
Me and Chicks talked about this yesterday. Every Sunday at 10:30 we do it. We do a breakdown show. We were talking about this yesterday on who we think the number one, like what we think the number one need should be for this team. And I think another cornerback it would be the number one team. So Denzel
And
Ward's cool, Bradley Chubb's cool, but I would probably go to like a Minka Fitzpatrick, somebody who's actually
yeah.
played in Pennsylvania before with the Steelers. So he has been coached right by Mike Tomlin. Let's bring Minka in here and see what he's got.
To that point, it's interesting you say that because to that point,
Minka
I'm
was
not.
a corner his first few years in Miami
Yeah.
and when he was with the Steelers.
Yeah. Something I wanted to bring up, and this is the perfect time for it when you're talking about positions, because obviously we also the other big one defensively was defensive end and a pass rusher and stuff. And one of the things I mentioned because of last game, as great as the interception, the pick six was, I liked what Jalen Hunt as a pass rusher, and he was
Mhm.
absolutely fantastic again yesterday. I think he actually rushed on around 20 plays. I think he got a career high 6 pressures on the quarterback.
Mm.
So, right, and hopefully Nolan Smith coming back. Like, I think that is what I'm saying is I think that leads into more of what you're saying, that if we can only get one thing, it may be a cornerback. You know, if we can choose cornerback or defensive end, cornerback may have more impact
Yeah.
because we're seeing more from Jalen Hunt. We've got Nakobe Dean back, who, by the way, should have negated one of the Giants' touchdowns. As much as everyone's screaming about like the fumble, which was a bad call, there were a lot of bad calls in that game in both
Mhm.
directions. And
Yeah.
Nakobe Dean got absolutely tackled from behind on a Giants touchdown that was not a hold, or it was a hold. It wasn't called. You know, it was basically he did what Lane Johnson did, but Lane Johnson was called for it. Even
Yeah.
though there's people out there tweeting that thing of Lane Johnson and talking about how bad the officiating was and how is that not a hold. Well, it wasn't. The flag was thrown. Like it's
Yeah, no, I don't want to take too much out of this game, but I will say that there is a lot more of a because I mean I was talking about this yesterday with Rudy, and you know how we get like Patullo needs to get fired, Nick Sirianni, you know how Eagles fans do,
hell yeah,
and I was
of
like,
course.
dude, to be honest with you, the temperature is pretty good coming after this game. Like the temperature seems pretty good right now, following the Giants game, so it could be a step in the right direction. We have that game, and we have a bye next week, correct?
Yes,
So we
and
have
so you've
technically 2 weeks to hone in on what we did right today to move forward coming out of the bye. All we need to do is win the bye week, and I think the Eagles are right back on track to what we expected heading into the start of the season.
yeah, I would agree. I mean, yeah, like you said, it's the Giants. They're 2-6, but two things to that. Three things to that. We hadn't been playing well. The Giants whipped our backsides not that long ago, and Giants not being good or not, again, they whipped us, and it's also a division rival. There's no such thing
Mm.
as a gimme division game, no matter how bad or good the teams might be, right? Like that's just a different level. You add
Mm.
Saquon Barkley being an ex-Giant into it, and all of these things, and it always adds something to the game, and you just never know, and especially in football when a turnover can be everything, right? And look, that was a blown call on the 4th and 1. That was a
Mm.
fumble.
Yeah.
But again, like I said, Jackson Dart also fumbled and we recovered it and they called it an incomplete pass. Right.
Yeah.
N'Kobe Dean gets tackled on a Giants touchdown and they don't call anything. They blow a whistle in the middle of a field goal attempt and they just ignore it. Well, when a whistle blows in the middle of the play stops.
Yeah.
We should have kicked it again. Like there's, we can go on and on. So for me, the interesting with that game, the last thing I'll say about the officiating is, unlike a lot of games, is, well, yes, it was really, really bad, but man, it was equally bad. Like it was
Yeah.
bad for both
Everybody.
teams.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So the big thing, real quick, and I'll let you go, that I liked overall was, again, there were just the different looks, the play calling, and to that, one of the things that really irked me this past week, because they always have to find something to blame on Jalen Hurts.
What did he do today? What did he do?
Well, no, this is the thing, and that's why one of the reasons I like today in some of what I saw is, after last week you had the big play to the 79-yarder to Devontae Smith, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so instead of the praise of that play and the praise of how Jalen Hurts played, we got, oh, well, they do that more. It's not, the offensive coordinator is great, they do that more, but Jalen Hurts doesn't like to be under center and
Oh
blah, blah,
yeah,
all
yeah.
the, and local media, national media, they're all doing, well, I saw him play under center a lot, and I've never heard him say, I don't want to be under center.
Mm-hmm.
And to see him be under center a lot more and be effective, I enjoyed that because of all the nonsense from the previous week of them blaming him as to why those plays aren't being called. So I love to see the variety in the offense that we saw. Devontae Smith getting wide open at times, like the Dallas Goedert, the plays that we saw for him getting 2 TDs was just very different than what we had seen previously. Anyway, you go. I've been yapping.
Now again, we talked about this. I mean, Devontae Smith had 9 targets, dude. I was telling you, man, with AJ Brown, like today's the day to just target Smith, and they absolutely did target him. I don't know. The thing is that AJ Brown has turned into such a bad egg.
Yeah.
It everybody just seemed like, with the roster that we had playing yesterday, everybody just seemed content doing their job. But
Right.
with AJ Brown in the lineup, it always seems like there's a little nagging little gnat
Yeah,
just flying
a
around
little
you all the
gnat, a
time.
little buzz in the
Yeah,
ear,
exactly.
because in the back of everyone's mind, you have to be worried about that a little bit.
Absolutely.
And it's like, oh, well, you know what? We've had 2 drives now. We haven't targeted AJ. So even though we don't want to call a play for him now because it really isn't the right thing, we're going to do it anyway, which is going to hurt the team.
And you
Which is,
divert from your offense. Like
yeah, and you
Devontae
got
Smith had 9
exactly.
targets in the course of the
In the
offense.
course, right. Yeah,
Throughout the
I
game.
never felt, unlike that one game earlier in the season where it seemed like they were absolutely forcing the ball to AJ Brown. You did not feel that way about Devontae Smith yesterday. It
Mhm.
was within the offense, and to that point, all right, we're getting comments here, man. I'm just noticing
Yeah.
we got
Yeah.
to.
AJ Brown isn't bad egg. You heard Jamar Chase? No.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, AJ Brown, he's got to go. He's EC, to me. He's overstayed his welcome. He came in, and that's what a lot of these diva wide receivers are. They come in, they do their mercenary work, they pitch a fit, and then they move on to the
And then they
next.
move on,
You know
and
what I'm
then they
saying?
repeat
Yeah,
the
there aren't
cycle.
many. If you look at the history of the league, other than Jerry Rice and Calvin Johnson, I haven't seen many receivers actually stay with an entire team.
Yeah.
But those guys aren't divas. Those guys don't have
They seem to be
egos.
that
You
position
know
more than any other. Yeah.
exactly.
One other thing that we talked about yesterday morning too, and now obviously he didn't get a ton of targets or a ton of catches, but speaking of AJ Brown, one thing I mentioned that was a huge opportunity for someone, both for his future, maybe in Philadelphia or going somewhere else and getting paid. And again, I don't think he was targeted a lot, but come on, let's give it up to Jahad Dotson doing his,
Yeah,
being Randy
yeah,
Moss
yeah.
imitation there, man. Um, that was a
Yeah, he had a play.
fantastic play
Yeah,
by Dotson, and I think he's been forgotten a lot in the offense. And I think part of that problem may be AJ Brown because they're so worried about him because you know Dotson's got a resume, man. It's not like he's some bum that we picked up off of waivers. We just haven't been using him, but that guy can catch.
yeah. Now EC1, I hear you, EC1, right? And we've talked about this. AJ Brown has an insane cap hit if he was to trade, right? Let's say the cap hit. Let's just put that to the side. I would 100% trade AJ Brown for a number 1 cornerback, straight up. If in a perfect
Yeah,
world, that's the trade I would make 10 times out of 10 if we weren't going to get smashed on the salary about that.
What's his name?
He's a good player, EC1. I'm not saying he's not a good player, but
What's his name for the
he's
Jets?
he's overstayed his welcome. Sauce Gardner. Sauce Gardner.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's just overstayed
Maybe
his welcome to me.
a trade like that. Yeah, AJ Brown is one of the top receivers in the league, but
Yeah.
sometimes that doesn't necessarily make you a better team, especially if you have big needs elsewhere. What we got here? The
And we
media is
have
literally
we have a luxury of riches on this team also. It's not like if we trade AJ Brown, oh now we have no weapons to use, no weapons to go
right.
to.
Right. Oh
This
yeah.
team has
Well,
a
that's like
luxury of weapons that we can go to with or
yeah,
without AJ
we
Brown.
have more depth. That's like
And if
Espo here.
that's not, and also if it's not going to be in the back of the mind of Kevin Patullo calling plays, okay, let's make sure we get AJ involved. Okay, let's make sure we get
Exactly
AJ
right.
involved.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
addition by subtraction to a certain degree.
Yeah. As Espo says, the media is literally running out of things. The goalpost move for Hurts. I 100% agree, although they will find something. Also, Smitty is and always was wide receiver one, and I'll sleep easy on that hill.
Mm,
Yeah, I mean, and I've said that. We talked about that yesterday morning.
mm,
Devontae Smith could go and be wide receiver one on a lot of teams in the NFL.
yeah.
It's just we just happen to have AJ Brown. And to that point, and this was saying, I'm not so sure Smith isn't wide receiver one here. But
Mm,
again, going back to the diva stuff, no one is going to say that
mm,
because that would be a problem with AJ Brown. But again, you saw yesterday because a lot of people say, "Oh, well, Devontae Smith gets open and he gets his catches and his yards because they have AJ Brown." Just like they say, "Oh, Jalen Hurts wins because of a super team." Well,
yeah.
we saw yesterday Devontae Smith can get open without AJ Brown.
Dude he runs beautiful routes. He's got the
He's just
footwork.
good, man.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
he's good.
And to for being so small, dude can
Yeah,
take a hit. Dude's durable. He could take a hit.
yeah.
He's not scared to come across the middle. Like he's not somebody where you look at and you're like, damn man,
Well,
I'm worried about using Devontae Smith. He's gonna get injured any second now. No,
and speaking of
he seems like a tough son of a bitch.
another thing he does well, and if you go back and watch the Saquon touchdown, he played an important role of that is his blocking.
Yeah, yeah,
That hole to the left, if you watch that little seam that Saquon cut through, you had Devontae Smith on his left locking that guy up, allowing Saquon to get all the way through that hole.
yeah. No. No, I hate to harp on this AJ Brown thing, but listen to
I
what
know
we're talking.
you're all in on the
Yeah,
AJ's
yeah,
got to
yeah.
go.
Maybe it was dude. Maybe it's because he just thinks he's T.O. and it's not, and it just frustrates me so much more. Now let me say this. Listen to what we're talking about. Like right, listen to what the media is talking about following today's game. You know that if AJ Brown played yesterday, yes, the Eagles won 38-20, but AJ Brown only had 5 targets. He wants to get out of here.
Oh yeah, well
You know,
they'll still do that.
we just
They're still
don't
going to
need
be
that.
yeah,
There's no need
right.
for that. And I'm a Sirianni guy. I like how he holds it down in the locker room. I like Sirianni, but we don't need that. Oh, the Eagles won 38-20. And then you fucking go on Twitter. Oh man, they're just not using me right. Lyrics by DMX. Like wait, why is AJ Brown
Yeah,
doing
right.
this weird subtweet? We don't need that, man.
The
We don't need that.
the other thing, and it's funny you had that, and then of course the other thing, and this just shows how much of an agenda is you have, of course, all over everywhere, and you saw it, and people because of the bad call on the Jalen Hurts fumble, people are screaming about what? Not that it was a bad call, but that it was the tush push needs to be banned. And this is why I say it's so obvious it's an agenda because anyone who's been watching football enough knows that has seen fumbles happen where the whistle for forward progress has been blown before the fumble and sometimes incorrectly. And it can happen anywhere on the field with a wide receiver, running back, tight end, quarterback, any way at all. It has literally nothing to do with the specific play. That could have been a regular quarterback sneak. That could have been the running back trying to stretch over the goal line. It had nothing, but none of them can just say it was a bad call. It was. Instead, they say we got to ban the tush push.
Yeah, well, you know that the goalposts are moving on the tush push because it started out. It's an injury thing.
Oh
It's hard
yeah,
to
it's always
officiate. It can't be stopped.
100%.
Eh,
Yeah, They keep changing that too, right? Speaking of goalpost Espo, they keep changing it on the
Yeah,
Twitch. They changed it
it's
on
just a
Hertz.
new
They
thing
changed it on the
every
Twitch
single
Twitch.
time. Every single it's a new thing. It's like, oh, it's an injury. It's a risk. Notice we haven't heard
Yeah,
that anymore. Now it's hard to officiate. Now
yeah,
it's a false
and
start. Now it's
right.
it's
And
cut
you
it
know
out, man.
what? It always goalposts always change for Eagles fans, right?
Yeah.
So, it's like when Cam had that. And by the way, I've done a similar thing. I have a titanium plate in my leg from doing a similar thing that Cam did with that injury, Scatabo. And the Eagles fans, very classy division rival, gave him a standing ovation when they were carting him off the field.
Mhm.
Of course, I saw a Giants fan post that as a negative. Oh, those nasty, awful Eagles fans were cheering when he was. Well, no,
They
they
could
were
give it up for a
respectfully.
hard nosed son of a bitch.
Yeah,
They're like,
exactly.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
what they were doing.
absolutely,
Oh
yeah,
my god, you know how loved that guy would be in
yeah.
Philadelphia,
Oh
dude.
yeah, absolutely,
Oh my
absolutely.
God, they would be so loved in Philadelphia. And then, of course, some of I saw a little bit of a Twitter war going on with that because some of the people, the Giants fans, talking about the Eagles fans being trash for giving them a
Mhm.
respectful standing ovation. It's amazing how people go find this stuff. I not know how to do it, but one of the people that was doing it, an Eagles fan, came back with a screenshot of one of his tweets that's saying, "I hope Saquon Barkley tears an ACL."
Mm, mm.
Yeah, that's classy Giants fans, right? Eagles fans are the problem
Yeah,
for giving a guy an ovation who plays hard, but you can say Saquon can tear his ACL, as it's wild, absolutely wild. And by the way, this is crazy. Speaking of, again, goalpost moving, I want to hear what you have to think about this, where you legitimately think he might be. And I think, to his credit, I think it was Acho who did it in terms of anyone in the media. Jalen Hurts has gone from, oh, he's not a top 10, he's not a top 15, he's one of the worst quarterbacks. I got to find some Cam Newton because he's got to be having a meltdown.
mm,
Now or it should be, and Acho did it to his credit. Jalen Hurts should be in the MVP conversation, folks.
yeah.
At last 8 games, 15 touchdown passes and one interception, best ratio in the league, 20 total TDs and one interception for the entire season. 70% of his passes. I mean, he's got some of the best numbers in the league, and he wins. And this was the first game all season that we had the running game to go with it.
Yeah, I think. Well, what he said here, AJ Brown is a top 5 receiver. The Eagles can possibly win without him. Like that's without him. Sorry, I'm dude. I'm fucking hammering AJ Brown.
You really are, because I saw someone in the media say that about are the Eagles better without AJ Brown? And to me, that's Philly sports media. No one hates Philly sports media
Yeah,
like the players and the fans hate Philly sports media. And there's just it's unnecessary for Philly sports media to put out there, oh, are they better without AJ Brown? You're just adding fuel to the fire, trying to cause problems. Let's just go win another Super Bowl, man. Come on.
yeah. Yeah. Um, he's got to be in the MVP conversation. Rhodes, how you doing today, Rhodes? Got to be in the MVP conversation
Rhodes is here?
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he's got to be in the MVP conversation to a certain
Nice.
to a certain extent. Absolutely. Is he my MVP right now? Nah, I don't know. But to act like he's not in the conversation is
He's got to be in the
bullshit.
conversation.
Yeah,
And yeah, well,
I
that's
mean
why
they're
I'm saying
fucking putting dude,
now.
they put Dak Prescott in the MVP conversation last week.
I
It's disgusting how
well, that's it.
the overreaction we get to some of
I
these
said
other
it
players.
is. I said it
Motherfuckers had
is.
Justin Herbert in the MVP conversation 3 weeks into this. Like that frustrates me.
Yeah.
It
Well, that's
frustrates me how much benefit of the doubt other guys get when
and Hertz gets none. Oh, and that's what I'm saying. He has to be in the now. I said to Rhodes that he is the leading MVP candidate because he's a 49ers fan and they tried to give us a rivalry they thought was a big deal. So I had to tweak him a little bit, but legitimately, he has to be in the conversation. And
yeah.
by the way, so does Taylor for the Indianapolis
Colts.
Colts
Yep.
as a running back. Um, but if he gets it, then Saquon should have gotten it last year, man. But
Yeah, well, this guy's got 14 touchdowns already.
I know that's insane. That's insane.
Dude. If this guy finishes 25 touchdowns, we're talking like
Yeah. Oh,
what was it?
he's got.
LT, Ladainian Thompson had some crazy season
Yeah.
like that,
He
if I
he
remember
he
correctly.
absolutely has to be in the conversation. But and that's my point. You can put even as even though the Eagles throw a lot less, you still have to put Jalen's numbers up against anyone. Now, all of them are probably going to have more yardage
Accumulation, yeah.
because they throw a lot more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But Jalen Hurts is just as, if not more effective than any of these guys we're talking about. And by the way, Josh Allen has himself a running back too.
Yeah.
Let's be clear. Josh Allen
Yeah.
has a running
Espo,
back too.
that's a
See Rhodes. See, look at Rhodes coming in, man.
he's in
He's
the
in the
back end.
he's in the
Yeah.
back end of the conversation. Yeah,
Yeah. Espo, that's kind of my thing, Espo, is that
this
that's
one.
the problem. Yeah, that's the problem with the cap hit dealing AJ Brown. I talk about this every single week, dude. I would trade AJ Brown for a better defensive player 10 times out of 10. So I absolutely agree with you. We have a sinister pick and poison offense with AJ Brown. Fortunately, we don't need him to still win. If we get a crazy deal, Denzel Ward, I'd hit the deal or no deal button with immense force. I absolutely agree. I would trade him in a heartbeat too if I could get an elite defensive player. I would trade him in a
Well,
heartbeat, dude. I would have traded him
but
last week.
yeah, here's the thing though. And it's always fun to talk about these things, especially when you're a team that is legitimately competing. But AJ Brown's not going anywhere, no matter who gets offered. And here's why: the cap hit this year is absolutely insane. It's like $50 million if they trade him. I mean, it's just not. They can't do it. It's not going to happen. Uh, but he might not be back next year. Although the cap hit's pretty big next year too, but it's not nearly as big. But by the way, just first time the Eagles had 200-yard rushers in a game since 2013.
Don't tell me.
And
Oh,
I'm not sure.
you got the names?
I didn't grab the names.
Oh
Actually,
well,
I'm really
it's got to be LaShawn and
yeah.
the
It
other
has
guy
yeah.
from Penn State. Who did they draft right after LaShawn?
Oh, was Miles Sanders was here? No,
No,
no, he's
that's
not that
later.
old,
That's
right?
later. That's later.
Yeah, that's later. Miles Sanders isn't that old. Um, 2013, not Westbrook.
No, they drafted a player. They
Oh,
drafted
oh, oh,
back-to-back running
oh,
backs.
oh, oh, oh. Wait, are you talking about one of my favorite running backs and you had forgotten about him? Corral Buckhalter?
No, 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 no,
Oh, I'm like losing.
no.
So who knows? Someone tell me. Miles Sanders, yeah, Miles Sanders 2018. I said 2013, right?
Um,
Bryce Brown, that's a
yeah,
possibility.
Bryce Brown. Bryce Brown only had 314 yards that year.
Yeah, but Tank Bigsby might not get another carry, man.
Yeah,
And he
no,
had
that's true. Shoot.
I'm just saying
Bryce
it's
Brown
been a
was on the
while.
roster. Who did they get from Penn State? They got somebody else from Penn State right after getting LaShawn.
Miles Sanders and Saquon Barkley.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at the roster. It says Bryce Brown was on the roster, so maybe he did have that one breakout game. But man, that's for some reason I'm thinking somebody else.
Oh, by the way, it just popped into my head and still be thinking about that if anyone knows. But going back to the play calling just for a second, one other thing I saw a few times that we really hadn't seen this year, and the two biggest things I say are that they're really good at, but we hadn't seen, but we saw this game was play action pass, right? But
Mhm.
also legit RPOs,
Yeah,
and like you have Jalen Hurts, man. Like, why haven't we not been running more of those? It's just wild to me.
yeah. No, you can definitely use his. You can definitely utilize his feet more. But
Is this right? Is this right, Ben? I don't.
Chris Polk was on the roster.
Yeah.
Um, shit, man, I don't.
What is it? Pro Football Reference or whatever you could
Yeah,
probably go
yeah,
to
that's
the
that's what I'm
Eagles
looking at. Yeah, I see
2013 and
Chris Polk on the 2012 roster, and I see Bryce Brown on the 2013 roster. It could be one of those guys. Neither of them was the name that I was particularly thinking of.
yeah.
Yeah, that's my bad. My
Oh,
apologies.
I'll throw one out. I'll throw one out. Rhodes might know. Hey, Rhodes, was it was it for who? For what? Was it Ricky Waters? For who? For what? I'm not catching that ball over the middle, man. What are you talking about? Yeah, I think it had to be Bryce Brown,
Yeah, I
man.
think it was Bryce Brown.
Rose says that too.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
All right, fair enough.
but yeah, anyway, I just thought that was. I mean, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Obviously, we got the bye week and the trade deadline coming up kind of together. So how he's going to be on the phone. Hopefully, Barkley says he'll be ready for the next game. So hopefully that groin. I thought it was a hamstring at first, the way he pulled up, but Hopefully that groin is good to go.
Yeah, no, I mean a move has to be made. I don't think we can stay pat because you
Yeah.
have to factor in that the Rams are actively trying to get better. You have to factor
Right.
that in.
Well, right, but then like I said, you also have to factor in that a lot of teams
Yeah, I
might not want
no,
to
I
give the
understand.
Eagles.
I understand that, but it works both ways. Well, you want to help the Rams get a Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? It works both ways to a certain extent with that
Yeah.
argument because they were both in the championship game last year. So one of those teams were gonna be in the Super Bowl winning it up. Who's gonna get the deal this year?
Yeah, we'll
Gotta
see.
get the deal.
Rose says Polk only had 98 yards that season, so it had to be Bryce Brown. Makes sense.
Yeah.
But, yeah, but I mean, look, overall, we're adding these things in. Love the variety of play calling that came in. Love the fact that the running game was working, and let's also factor in that we were real worried about this offensive line too.
Oh wait, hold on. Was it two running backs or was it a LaShawn McCoy Mike Vick game?
Oh, that's all. That is possible. That's a great question. I didn't note that down. I just said first time we had. I think I said first time we had two guys.
Yeah, yeah. Hmm. Hmm.
Um, yeah, I just said well, I put first
It
time we
was
had
two running backs, Espo? Indeed. Indeed.
200-yard
Indeed.
rushers is how I put it. So yeah, it could have
Okay.
been. It's possible it was
No,
Vic.
he's saying those running backs. Okay, so it probably was Bryce Brown then.
Okay, so it was Bryce Brown. But yeah, I
Yeah,
love the variety of play
564
calling that we
yards
hadn't seen.
that
I
season.
love the offensive line and the way they played. Uh, we were worried about the offensive line.
Mhm.
Cam. By the way, first time since I can't remember the year now, but it's also been a long, long time since Jason Kelsey or Cam Jurgens hadn't been the center for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Mm.
I can't remember but it's been quite a long time since it wasn't one of those two. So man, you throw all those things in. No AJ Brown, the offensive line's in shambles. They had a game. Yeah, I know it was the Giants, but the Giants did whip us not that long ago. So
Mm.
now we just gotta everyone get some rest
Yeah,
and
well,
don't
we're
get
coming
guys
we're coming against
beat
the
up.
Packers after the bye week, so it's not
Yeah,
so that's
that's a
going to be a big game.
that's going to be a big game after the
And
bye week for sure.
what we need to factor in here as well. Not only is it going to be a big game, but the winner and loser of that game can very well determine who has home field advantage come playoff time. The same way beating the Rams was a big deal. The same way beating the Bucks was a big deal. It's because these games matter when
Yeah,
it comes to
you
playoff seeding. When you look at
absolutely. Well,
tiebreakers, we have finished off with the same
and
record. Who's got home field advantage?
that's one of the
And
really
I
cool
and I
things.
think they don't want to come to Philly playing in 20-degree weather,
No,
15-degree
no,
weather. I'd much rather
no.
go to fucking Tampa and wear
Especially
short
when you're
sleeves and
now Green Bay might not mind,
yeah,
but Tampa and LA might
LA.
mind.
Yeah, they'll mind for sure.
But that's one of the cool things about football with only 17 games, right? Like,
Yeah. Well, dude,
and
it's funny you mentioned that because I know we're talking football right now. You have the Blue Jays and the Dodgers playing in the World Series. Some random um, matchup they had during the regular season. The Dodgers win the first two games in the
yeah,
series, and then
yeah,
the Blue Jays win the third game, and that third game was the difference between 94 wins and 93 wins, or whatever the case may be.
yeah. Um, I think I said 2013, but Espo found it for us, which is cool. Yeah, so there it is, LaShawn and Bryce
Nice,
Brown, 133 and
nice.
115. But yeah, oh, to that
Espo,
point,
I appreciate you, man.
real
Thanks for coming by, hanging
real
out with
quick,
us.
when we to round up, I just want to finish off on that. That's why I always hated in sports like baseball or basketball, especially baseball. With one, they always talk when it's an early game and a team's struggling or they're losing. They're like, oh, it's early in the season, or oh, it's only April. Well, that loss where you blew a 5-1 lead in the eighth inning,
Mhm.
that could be the one that keeps you out of the playoffs or keeps
Yeah,
you from winning the division. You know what I mean? Like every
absolutely.
game matters, man. It just doesn't
Absolutely.
seem as much
Yeah,
of a
especially if you
big
have
deal
playoff
because it's early.
aspirations. Especially if you're a team with
Yeah,
playoff aspirations, because then
exactly.
it's all nip and tuck coming down the stretch.
Right,
So,
exactly. It's like, you know
yeah.
what? You could be a great team and you get off to a 9-15 start. That could be why you don't end up where you're supposed to be at the end of the season. But
Especially with the extended format, you have 11-win teams and 10-win teams. A 10-win team can easily be the wild card and have two back-to-back road games, while the 11-win team is hosting home field
yeah,
advantage in their
oh
first
yeah,
playoff game. So I mean, it matters.
absolutely.
It
Yep.
all matters absolutely. I know this sounds
Um,
crazy, but I love to ship Tank and a future third for Devon Kane. I'm not familiar with that guy. I gotta be honest with you.
um, the only here's the only issue I have with that for this year, right? And man,
Well,
not
we were
many.
thinking that. Well, we were thinking because Bigsby hasn't been used at all that we thought that he
Right,
was
but
just going to
now
be
he
a beast
is.
used. Yeah,
Right, and
absolutely. Oh,
but
that's
here's the
Miami's
thing,
running
and
back.
this
Okay.
is what we talked about early is I love having a running back who can be productive, that can take carries away from Saquon Barkley, because I think that not only benefits the team, I think that benefits Saquon Barkley.
Mm,
Right? At the end of the season, Saquon Barkley come playoff time is going to be a lot better for us if he carries it 250 times than if he carries it 350 like last year.
mm.
You know what I mean? Like if we get rid of Tank, and then now you just saw the groin, like an injury can happen at any time, right? If we get rid of Tank, our running back, if Saquon gets hurt or just to take carries away, is Will Shipley,
Yeah, dude, I was, I was actually pretty
right? I
pissed on the
mean,
game yesterday. I was like, oh shit, damn, that's pretty crazy. I actually, because I remember looking up Tank Bigsby, dude. Tank Bigsby, where are we at here?
there you go. Rhodes says he's the starting running back for the
Yeah, for the
Dolphins.
Dolphins.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
just
but that
noted
see,
that down.
that's not necessary.
Yeah, but Bigsby, his second year in the league with Jacksonville, he had 66 rushing yards himself. So
Yeah,
yeah,
well, no, he's a good young
talk
running
about.
back, and it just seemed like this year he wasn't in their plans anymore
Yeah, we
for
don't need
whatever
two
reason.
starting caliber. We don't need two starting running backs. Like
Yeah.
that's not worth flipping a third round pick for, especially knowing that that third round pick is going to be a beast with the way Howie
Yeah.
Roseman drafts.
Yeah, I love how in other sports it doesn't matter as much. In football, it does. I love how it gets his hands on a bunch of draft picks.
Yeah, I'm not.
But
Unless it's for a fucking a top level player, I'm not willing to part ways with any of our picks.
no, and we're gonna have to. And he's accumulated a bunch of extra ones. So if we do want to get a trade made for someone like a
Fucking
cornerback,
picks.
it's gonna have to happen. What's
Yeah.
that? That's we don't. We don't support that kind of language here, man. Come on, now. Except unless you're Ben and you just throw it out there all the time. But oh, wait, all right. Oh, before we wrap up, let's see. We got another
Tank
long
couldn't
one going.
hold Devin's jock strap. His rookie year, he had 550 yards on 38 carries before getting hurt. Okay. Okay.
Wait, what?
This guy's 10 times better than Tank, from what Espo's saying.
Oh, I'm making a mental note to check that up because that's wide receiver stuff, man. That's a
But
good
is it
average for a
worth
wide
now?
receiver.
Now the question is, Espo, is it worth getting rid of a third round pick? That's the thing. Unless you're saying, well, unless you're thinking that Saquon's falling off a cliff or about to fall off a cliff, so we need somebody to come backfill. But I was even saying our next running back should be adjusted in the draft anyway. I'm I'm
Yeah, I
I'm,
mean,
I'm not
if
giving
you
up a third round pick for a fucking running back, dude. I got to be
if you're
honest with
talk
you.
if you're talking about replacing Saquon, that's an entirely different conversation. But it doesn't make sense to give up something like a third round pick for a backup running back when we
Yeah,
already have a good backup running back.
I gotta agree with you there, man. I'm not ready to give away a third round pick for these guys. Let's see. His rookie season. What are you talking about? 103 carries for 800 yards his rookie season. Am I looking at the wrong guy? No, I'm looking at the right guy. Yeah, 103 carries, 800 yards his rookie season. 37, 27 catches, 197 yards for a chain. So, yeah,
All right.
man.
Well, yeah, I kind of get that, Rhodes. But again, we're not talking about. You have to understand who we're talking about. We're looking at a backup. We have a backup. We can't compare Devin to Tank. Tank's a backup to Saquon. So it doesn't make sense to get a starter to unless you're talking about replacing Saquon Barkley.
You there?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
there you
didn't
go.
hear you. Did you say?
No. You muted your mic after you talked. I think so.
Oh
I
yeah,
thought
yeah,
so. I
yeah.
thought you disappeared.
No, I'm here.
I'm pulling it up now. Espo. I'm pulling it up now. 2023. Yeah. I mean, he's right. What do we got here? We got 37 over 400 yards. Just for his first 4 games. Under 30 carries for about 400 yards.
Oh yeah, that's why I get that. It's just I'm looking at it. I mean, he's a good starting running back. We have a good starting running back. You know what I mean? Like that just it doesn't. I mean, I guess I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think who would be. I guess. Well, maybe that would be kind of cool, but it'd be like giving up a bunch for Justin Jefferson, but keeping Devontae Smith and AJ Brown.
Mm.
That kind of sounds great, but I have a feeling that would be a problem if we tried to make it work. You know what I mean? So that'd be like you're not going
Yeah,
to get Justin Jefferson as a backup.
yeah. It's either you have a one and a two, or you have like a bunch of twos as far as your running back committee
Yeah,
goes. I
yeah.
agree.
Like yeah. I don't. I mean, I get it. It'd be great if we could just get a whole bunch of all pros for starters and backups, but it's kind of unrealistic. I don't disagree with that at all, Rhodes, but I'm just saying, like to Ben's point, with the way we draft and Howie Roseman, when we have Saquon Barkley and we have a very serviceable backup, it doesn't make sense to give up a lot for a. That's all I'm saying.
Mm.
It's 100% all hit and miss, but you know what? It's all hit and miss in all sports. That's what's wild. We all know what we know, and we have ideas, but at the end of the day, like you said, it is a gamble. I mean, you can go back to, hey, everyone knows who Peyton Manning is. Does anyone remember who Ryan Leaf is? You know, Tom Brady is a 6th round pick. I mean, we could, there's a whole lot of stories like that. It's definitely hit and miss. I mean, Sam Bowie went ahead of Michael Jordan. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm.
It's wild.
Oh, here we go. Let's see.
Well, yeah, but you're saying that, Rhodes, because and Ben and I were actually talking about this
All right,
yesterday.
hold up, hold up, hold up,
McCaffrey's
hold up.
McCaffrey's washed.
All right, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. 2021. Let's just look at our third round picks these last few years. 2021, Milton Williams. Is he on the team still or not, CDS?
No, but there's a lot of
2022, third round pick, N'Kobe Dean.
there you
2023,
go.
third round pick, Tyler Steen. 2024, third round pick, Jalen Hunt. I mean, we draft solid even in the middle of the draft. So
Yeah. Well, and
again,
also don't forget, football's a little different because you have so many players and so many positions that a 3rd or 4th round pick, talent wise, at a certain position can be like
damn,
drafting at the top of the 1st round in basketball.
Alvin Kamara. We think Alvin Kamara still got it. Okay, okay. I
I
know
don't know
he's
that either
important.
one of those
Yeah,
guys still
yeah,
have it.
yeah. Yeah, we were talking. Man, I wish you were here yesterday. We were talking.
You know
Once you
what?
get to year nine for running
I
back.
almost sent and Rhodes, we can talk about this. Let me know. I almost sent Rhodes the link if he wanted to join us when we got into more overall football stuff. I just didn't know if,
Yeah,
we talk a lot of Eagles, obviously,
yeah,
and I didn't know if he'd want to bother. But
yeah. We did a whole.
oh, I know you don't, Rhodes. I do. No, I'm just, Ben does.
Well, it's not washed. We did a deep dive on like once you get to year 8, year 9 running backs yesterday. So
A
I'm
lot
a
of them
little
fall off a
yeah,
cliff.
I'm a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
jaded from the research that we were doing yesterday before the game. Just taking a look at
a
current
lot of
running
running
backs and
backs with a
past running backs.
big load in their career.
Yeah.
Those number one guys when it comes
Yeah,
year
because
8, year
even
9.
McCaffrey, I was looking at McCaffrey. Yes, he's coming off the injury. This is the lowest yards per carry in McCaffrey's entire career, including his rookie season.
Yeah,
I remember that just right off the bat. So every running back has their expiration date. It's just a matter
yeah,
of
that for sure happens too.
how quick are they killing them.
Rose, and there are other reasons than Saquon himself as to why the running game hasn't been there this year. But I think it's also a little bit of him. But yeah, it's a whole lot of factors and stuff like that. That's one of the things that makes it tough. I think to your point about drafting is players is the system, the players that are around them. Like there's a whole lot that factors into lots of success or no success. You know what I
Mm,
mean? Um, so it's kind of like the whole like defensive line. Let's use that. It's like guys playing, and I'm going to go back because everyone knows guys playing opposite. A Reggie White
mm,
are going to have a lot of opportunities on the defensive line to get sacks because they're all the attention paid to Reggie White. And then it's like, okay, well, how good is that guy really? What if he's the number one guy playing opposite someone who's less than, as opposed to playing opposite Reggie White, and he's getting all the attention? Can he still produce? You know what I mean? Like it's
yeah,
it's it's tough, man.
yeah. Rose, they're saying AJ Brown's not getting traded due to how big of a cap hit it would be. In a perfect
Yeah.
world, in a perfect world, I want whoever trades for him to take that money on and get him the fuck out of Dodge.
Dude, no one's taken on, and I don't
From
even know if you can.
from my side,
I don't
I'm
think you
sure
can
you
even
can.
do that.
I'm sure you can. But like, we'll take on 60% of the salary. You pay for the other
But it's not. No, I
40%
don't. But
or
it's
whatever
not.
it may be.
It's not just his. It's the way that it's structured. That it's the cap hit, and how he's always been great at this. But that's the point. I'm sure he did it because there's no way we're trading AJ Brown. The Eagles are not trading AJ Brown this season to take a $50 million cap hit. They will not do it. I have spoken. It's just not going to happen unless it's straight up for Justin Jefferson, and then maybe. Uh, but yeah, anyway, I don't know, man. We actually going longer than we were going to do for a reaction, but
Yeah, no.
if you want to go a few more minutes or wrap this up, or
I think we covered it
uh,
all.
yeah, I mean, I think we kind of covered everything. This game is going to be. They got now. They just got to rest, get healthy. We may have a new player or
Yeah,
two
that's what I
come
thought. Cap
Packers
can be
game.
managed for the cap hit for other teams. Yeah, other teams can take. Other teams can take it. That's what I thought.
Yeah, Sean Payton's a loser who pays out money to injure players. Man, I don't care about him.
Yeah, I would trade him. I would try to make it work. Oh yeah, Rhodes, on the record, get AJ Brown the fuck out of here.
Thanks for showing up, Rose. Appreciate it. We kind of did this last minute, man.
Yeah, we're gonna try. We're gonna try to do this every Monday after
We'll
these games.
we'll give you AJ Brown for McCaffrey. Well, you know what? No one in San Francisco is playing well. I take it back. I did. That's right. The man pays out money to get players hurt. That's a loser. Yeah, that's right. Rose has been saying this all year, so I'll put this one up. He says AJ Brown's going to the Patriots.
Well, who do you guys have at cornerback? That Christian Gonzalez guy? Yeah, we'll do that.
I
Right?
do. I like
That's
Mike
the
Ray. I like Mike Rhodes.
that's the corner that you guys have now, right? Christian Gonzalez.
No, that's this right here. This
Yeah,
is
we'll take
libel,
yeah
my
yeah.
friend.
Here, you can
This is
take
a
AJ
smear
Brown.
campaign. This is a smear campaign.
We'll take
Buddy
Christian
would never
Gonzalez
do
off your
such a
hands.
thing.
We'll take Christian Gonzalez off your hands, Rose. Don't worry about it. You can take AJ.
Ben,
We'll take Christian
Ben's
Gonzalez.
talking about an AJ Brown trade, and Rhodes and I are talking about Buddy Ryan. Oh, that's wild. Buddy would never. He would never. Classiest coach we've ever had. He. Ever, oh, you think so? What do you think about this, Ben?
Yeah,
Every see,
to a certain extent, of course, of course.
now I will say that's probably more true back in the day when you were actually allowed to hit people, as opposed to the flag football of today.
Yeah,
Oh my, I got Rhodes really upset now with this Sean Payton thing,
yeah,
man.
that's a good
He's
point. But
sticking around to
to
defend Sean.
a certain extent, there is a bounty in some way, shape, or form. Maybe verbiage these days is disguised a little bit differently to kind of hide what's going on here. But I mean, dude, people are fucking throwing games purposely. They just haven't been found out about it yet. You know what I mean? Just because we don't know about it doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Oh, that exists in all sports. It always has.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm talking about the bounties as well. Just because we haven't seen it since Greg Williams thrown right in our face doesn't mean it's not happening.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it doesn't. But that's what I'm saying. There are degrees. There are levels to this. I mean,
Yeah, let's
listen,
say let's
Ben,
take that. Who's that guy on the
in a,
Texans? Al
in a
Shazier.
sport in a sport like football, it never even has to be talked about. If you're a hyper competitive player going out and playing football, you will take it on yourself if you can get in a little extra shot, step on an ankle. I mean, you don't even have to get into the whole bounty area. That's just I'm going to get this guy out of the game. You can Chuck Bednarik, Frank
Yeah, but
Gifford.
if you're talking amongst yourselves and the coaches in the defensive room, right, just throwing it out there. Who's got 100,000 for me if I take what's his name out? And it just ends right there. It just ends right there. It just ends right there. Oh man, I really hate that AJ Brown guy. Blah 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 blah. Vontez Burfict said, "You got 100,000 from me." Don't even answer that.
No, you say that after. That's how you get away with it.
You got
Oh,
100 grand
yeah,
for me?
yeah. See, this is where technology helps too, right? Yeah, that's
Oh yeah.
absolutely true.
Oh
That's what I'm
yeah.
saying. You don't even have to talk about it. It can get done, and then the money just shows up in the Cash App and Venmo, and there is never any word spoken.
Mm.
But no, I don't disagree with that. But again, Rhodes reacted to my calling Peyton a loser, so I got to up the up. Ben, I'm a Philadelphia Eagles
Yeah,
fan, man.
yeah,
You
yeah.
think I'm going to let that go? Come on. I mean, next I'm going to say Drew Brees is overrated. The man was a dink and dunk passer who never threw the ball more than 2 yards. It was basically a running game.
Damn.
Uh,
Mm-mm-mm.
yeah, those are smaller amounts to them, Rhodes. That's not a
Yeah,
small
I don't
amount to
even.
me.
Yeah, I don't know. 1K, 2K. I don't even think they think that's worth their time. 1K, 2K.
Well, you know what though? That's where you get into the whole thing like Terry Rozier and stuff,
Yeah,
where
I don't even
it's
think the
about
card
more,
game. It's about the
but it's
adrenaline
about
rush.
more than the
Yeah,
money was
yeah.
what I'm saying
I
with like
understand that.
what Terry, you know.
Yeah, but 1K,
I
2K. I
mean,
don't even think they
I'll
play
give you
1K,
I'll give you a great
2K on.
example. We'll talk about a guy who got in trouble with gambling, and that's Michael Jordan. And I'm not even talking about the rumors about that's why he went to baseball,
Mm,
but just in his personal life, going out and golfing with people. It's not about the winning or the losing.
mm.
It's about the rush of gambling. It's
Yeah,
about 100 grand for this next shot. You know what I mean? That's how a lot of them are.
yeah.
Wow, we just went into a completely different topic. I'm amazed anyone's still here. But we kept Rhodes around with that whole Peyton's a loser comment, so that worked. I wonder what Drew Brees think. This is a great question, right? Because Drew Brees has been out trashing us. The Eagles' offense is boring. He doesn't want to watch it. He doesn't like how they play. Blah blah. Woof woof. It's a lot more explosive than Drew Brees. We said that's the best line. Oh, well, we'll get into it. I mean, if anybody can talk trash, it's Eagles fans, right, Ben? So
Mm.
we'll loosen up. And look, it's a live stream. We don't have to worry about upsetting any advertisers on it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Rose, have a good one, man.
All right,
Appreciate
Rose,
you coming by.
take it easy, man. Appreciate you showing up. Oh man, that's wild. But yeah, man. I mean, we're rolling. We're about 2.5 minutes from an hour.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
unless
Aspo, I
you,
appreciate you coming by. I'm good. I think we talked. We had
yeah, man.
a lot of
I don't want to
aspects.
hold people up just to
Yeah.
continue talking about the same stuff. I appreciate everyone that's actually showed up and tuned in. We kind of did this at the last minute.
Mm.
Hopefully we'll just keep doing. We're probably going to do Sunday mornings like we've done a few times
Take it easy,
now, and then
Aspo. Appreciate you.
do this Monday reaction, post
Mm.
game for the Eagles. So yeah, appreciate everyone who showed up, commenting, all that great stuff, man. It's awesome. Thank you.
Absolutely.
So yeah, man, Ben, we'll wrap it up, and
Yeah. Take it
I'll
easy, guys. I appreciate
close
everybody
this
coming by,
video. I
hanging out
appreciate
here.
everyone showing out. Thank you, man.